Last time on Wise Up on M&A, we filled seat number 2 with the deal maker, aka the broker or the M&A advisor or the investment banker, depending on the size of the deal. If you missed it, seat number 1 went to the M&A attorney. Today, we're heading into the third and final seat on your M&A boat. Let's hope for smooth sailing here. If you're on the exit journey or you're starting to think about one, talk to us to learn more about how our team of experienced entrepreneurs who built and sold their own companies, in case you didn't realize that, hello, can support you as you navigate the biggest transaction of your life. Am I being dramatic enough? I'm just being honest.
So we have the M&A attorney, the deal maker, which is either the broker, the M&A advisor, or the investment banker. And then there's one more spot that is reserved for sure. Who is it?
I think there's probably some debate on this. I tend to push for a high quality wealth advisor, a wealth manager that knows tax and can help the founder or founding team plan for that liquidity event, the cash event that is about to happen. I have a lot of conversations with founders. They're going into process and they say, nope, I've got my finance guy. We were fraternity brothers back in the day. Like, he manages my brokerage account, right? Which is great.
Wait, sidebar. Dukes, were you in a frat?
I was not. I played basketball. So I guess it was kind of like that, but no, I was not officially in a fraternity.
All right, I just had to
cool
ask.
I was tall enough, but not cool enough.
Maybe next time.
Thanks for making me feel great about myself. This is where you hear things or people say two things can both be accurate at the same time. That could be very well true, right? You have a brokerage account, you have some wealth that you've compiled, having built a business. Great, they have that under control. But for a transaction that is going to generate 7 or 8 figures in cash at the end of the transaction, you need someone who is not only prepared to manage that influx of cash with, again, broken record, deep experience, not the like, hey, I did it, once for a $500,000 transaction, so I'm sure I can do it for a $25 million transaction. This is deep experience and a knowledge base of what you're going to do with that money, how you're going to think about being tax efficient. And oftentimes that happens months, if not quarters, if not years before a transaction happens. Getting a high quality wealth advisor that understands tax, your personal situation, your goals, your dreams, everything you're trying to accomplish is super important. One of my favorite conversations to have early in a process is, what do you want to do after a transaction? Like, what are your goals? That goal is not hang out with my family, play golf. Those are all very valuable things. I love my family. I love golf. That is not probably a long-term solution for us builders out there. I'm speaking from personal experience. So it's challenging though, like, what do you actually want to do? You want to travel, you want to buy a winery, you want to build your next business, you want to build an apartment building, like whatever that is.
You want to donate to philanthropic causes?
Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you. Whatever that goal is, having a wealth advisor to tell you how you efficiently accomplish that goal, or tell you that, hey, that's idea you have is an incredible one, but this transaction at this valuation, assuming tax, what you're going to get at close comes nowhere near accomplishing that dream. You want to go, buy 10 apartment buildings? Great news. You can buy a half of one with the money that's going to be generated from this transaction. And that helps with the conversation of, should we even be going into this process, or how we do it in the right way? How do we organize? How do we think about preparing properly, setting up the individuals and the business to be as successful as possible? So seat number 3, high quality wealth advisor, done it before, understands pre-planning, tax, and understanding of managing a real influx of cash at the end of the transaction.
So you kind of use the wealth advisor and tax specialist interchangeably. If one is a tax specialist, they're automatically a wealth advisor, but not all
necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily.
Okay.
So it can be 2 different people. You may need an extra deck chair. It really depends. If you have an individual that you just feel really good about, that is a wealth manager, they may not have the breadth of services that you need completely. If you're working with a big, well-known wealth advisory bank, they probably have every service you need. So it depends a little bit on how you pick and choose. My point is always have a high quality wealth and tax advisor. Oftentimes it is the same person, but it doesn't always have to be.
All right, that's what I was asking. Wow, this can be so confusing. I hope everyone listening is not confused, because we are trying to clarify, but it's important. We're trying to break this down. So those are the top 3 seats. The boat is quite full. I would say, like, what size company in your mind would make room for those 3 seats on their boat, or should make room for those 3 seats on their boat?
I would say any transaction that is above a couple $1 million in total enterprise value, you're going to need all 3 of those. There are variants at different sizes that you can kind of, you can trim down that team, or, sometimes a high quality M&A attorney can actually play the role of the deal maker. If you're, it's a smaller transaction, the buyer personally, sometimes you have like an interfamily transaction, or even to get way off target, an ESOP in which you're actually selling the business to your employees. Certain times, the attorney can actually play more than one role, which is helpful. But I would say anything above $2 or $3 million in enterprise value, I would suggest, to run a great process, to have all three of those seats filled.
I think it helps to understand really what these roles are and can be. And it also does help the kind of loosey-goosiness of some can do both and some can do others. Because if someone needs to jump ship, or whatever the situation might be, or whatnot, the fact that perhaps one individual or firm or whatnot could be doing a few of the roles is good and helpful to know. Obviously, it depends on who you're talking about and what the situation is. So let's say we're moving from this little rowboat to a yacht. We got a yacht. Deal's
Sounds
bigger. Fancy. It's a nice
Better
deal.
Better drinks.
Sunset. Better music.
Okay.
We have more room. We got more room on the yacht. We got more room on the M&A team. So who's joining those 3 buddies? Who else could come aboard, if you will?
When you got more room on the yacht, who gets to join the party? Find out who should be on your M&A team when your deal gets bigger in next week's episode. And remember, subscribe if you're enjoying, and learn more about us at exitwise.com. Exit wisely.